Hello, and welcome to our Women's History Month series, spotlighting women in racing. Here, we are inviting social innovators, industry experts, and trailblazers to share their experiences and insight as we reflect on the past and collaborate to inspire and empower the next generation. I'm Beth Perretta, CEO of Perretta Autosport, and today I have the pleasure of speaking with two superstars from Perretta Autosport, Maria Grady, our motorsports photographer, and Madison Conrad, who is a powertrain reliability specialist at Roush Yates Engines and a mechanic and pit crew member at our team. So welcome to Maria and Madison. And I'd like to start with having you both tell me a little bit about yourselves and your roles on our team. So Maria, let's start with you.
Good morning. My name is Maria Grady. I am the motorsports photographer at Perretta Autosport. Grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, spent most of my years in Detroit, Michigan, and now reside in Alabama. Working for Perretta at the Indy 500 this past year was really the highlight of my career so far.
That's awesome. Mine too, so far. And Madison, how about you? Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, Madison Conrad here. So like Beth said, I am the powertrain reliability specialist for Roush Yates Engines. We do all the Ford engines for NASCAR. And I also got the opportunity last year to be a part of Perretta Autosport as a mechanic, as well as the inside rear tire changer. I'm originally from Albuquerque, New Mexico, and currently reside in Race City, USA, Mooresville, North Carolina.
Awesome. It is kind of the hub of activity. So Maria, your path to motorsport photography is pretty unusual, with a background including biology, environmental studies, and sales. So your career demonstrates two habits of an innovator: stay curious and take risks. So how did you apply your curiosity to find your passion for photography?
Well, it's interesting because some of my childhood friends tell me that I always had a camera with me, and my first desire for a career was to be an artist. And my parents said, "Oh, you'll never earn a living as an artist." So I pursued a degree in biology, and I've always been a curious child. My parents would get very frustrated with me because I would always ask the question, why? Whatever you stated, I would say, why? Why? And when I first headed to a racetrack, I looked around me and I saw all of these men with cameras. I started as a volunteer, actually helping build the track. But I've always had a need for speed. So as a young child, I would hop on roller coasters, and being at a racetrack was the most exciting thing that I could have imagined. So I took along a camera, and it just went from there. But the curiosity of seeing all of these guys with cameras around, I said, I can do that. And so I went back to school to take.
So so it started as a hobby, but so then what drove you to take the risk to pursue it professionally?
Well,
because that's a pivot.
It's interesting because I was working as a volunteer, and I met a team owner who simply needed some extra trash cans and extra items for his pit area. I got those for him, and they introduced me to all the team members. And so I started, since I had my camera, I started documenting them. And I came back with a stack of photos one day, and he said, "These look good," and reached in his pocket and paid me. And that's when I realized I can make a living at doing this.
Who was that team owner?
That was Paul Gentilozzi in Trans Am.
Excellent. So do you have any advice for others on how they could apply these habits in their own lives if they're curious and they might want to take a risk like that?
Sure. It is really try to find someone that may be already doing the job, or look around you. For me, I always looked in magazines, took the courses, asked the professors, always went above and beyond. And so they gave me some small little jobs to do related to the college where I was taking courses. So it's kind of an internship. So find an internship, or if you see someone doing something that you're curious about, just simply ask them questions, ask them lots of questions.
Right. Don't be afraid to ask. I think that's
Correct.
great advice. So Madison, your path also demonstrates two habits of an innovator: challenge the rules and collaborate. So challenging the rules and collaboration. So your career is just beginning and you're already making your mark as a track champion, a mechanic, and a crew member on pit road, which, you know, that there aren't as many women on pit road, and hopefully from what we've done and what you've done, there will be more in the decades to come. So what compels you to keep challenging the rules every step of the way?
So personally, I think that you have to challenge the rules to find advantages. And one thing that our CEO, Doug Yates, always says is that you win with advantages. So that's kind of always stuck in my head. And I think it's important to constantly be improving. You have to challenge yourself. You have to challenge others around you. And that's really kind of, sometimes that involves pushing the rules. Sometimes that involves just knowing the rules, but definitely challenge yourself and challenge the others around you to do the same.
That's absolutely true. So if there's a common theme in all the work you do, collaboration, right? Because this is ultimately, racing is very much a team sport. And whether it always looks like that or not, we know that there's a lot of work behind the scenes and a lot of people collaborating together. So why is adopting a collaborative mindset important to you, whether as a member of the pit crew or as an engineer?
Yeah, so I think it goes back to you're only as good as your team around you. And, I think that that's important to collaborate, to see something that maybe you wouldn't see it from a different perspective, highlight people's strengths that may not be your strengths. I think that brings the team closer together. I think it boosts morale on the team. I think you learn, everyone gets something out of it by collaborating. And so I think to foster that kind of collaboration and to make it, a vital part of a team is really important to success.
Absolutely. So do you have any advice for others on how they can apply these habits to their own lives?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, focus on the things that you can control, your work ethic, your collaboration, and your attitude, that goes a long way. And question everything. I've learned question everything and just soak it all in.
It's so true to the attitude. People might underestimate the power of not only positive thinking, but being solutions oriented and stuff, and that might be that last tenth that gets you to be on the podium and winning a trophy, right? So as we celebrate Women's History Month, can you tell us who inspired you? So Maria, who inspired you as we celebrate
Sure.
Women's History Month?
My godmother inspired me. At a very young age, she was a hairdresser, and she acquired her college degree as an adult and made the transition to being a teacher. And then she and her husband ran a chain of laundromats in Cleveland. So I was always around her, assisting her when she became a teacher, grading papers. And I just saw that you could take a risk, you could make changes, and you could continue to grow. So she was my inspiration.
Continue to grow. That's great. Madison, who would you say inspired you?
I would definitely say my mom inspires me. She really set the bar for work hard for what you want. And she always set such a good example of take risks, do the best that you can, and, always be a good teammate, be, true to yourself. So she really set the standard. That's
fantastic. I think, a lot of people say their mom, and, Women's History Month, I think, we all have, we have very strong women in our worlds, and hopefully maybe we can be those strong women for people in the future as well. So with that, I want to thank you both for talking with me today, representing female innovators in racing. I hope that your words inspire and empower more girls and women to join us at the track. And thank you to those tuning in. We hope you're celebrating Women's History Month, and we invite you to visit the Henry Ford in Dearborn, Michigan, or at thf.org to learn more about leaders, innovators, inventors, and entrepreneurs who inspire us every day.